All right, welcome back to another episode of Big Life. It is me, John Wangland, Johnny, podcasting here. We're bringing a great episode again today, and I'm here with my partner in crime, the one, the only, the real deal here, Richie Reardon. Richie, what's up, brother?
Not much, man. Got the sweet signed WCW television title on my
I
shoulder
love it.
here because I'm feeling like a champ. Back for all our fans here. Just wanted to show you all this thing, get a good look at this baby because this is one of my favorite titles. We'll actually start the segment off with that just because I have it on. I wanted to show you guys this because it is so freaking phenomenal. It is signed just about by every person in WCW that ever held this title here.
Wow. Even
And
Shivani.
even Shivani's on there, buddy, which he didn't hold the title, but damn it, he was one of the best fucking TV announcers ever, so he definitely deserves to be on this belt. So
Dude,
just wanted to show you that.
that's a beautiful piece, man, I'm telling you.
It's a great belt, man. I freaking love it. You know how much I love this title and how iconic it is, but I am doing great. Glad to be
Wait,
here with you tonight, man, and making the Fig Life happen. So
wait till everybody sees more into the belt collection later on. There's some really amazing stuff that Richie's got in there and some custom stuff coming. And it's if you like belts and you're a belt collector too, like we said, we do lots of types of memorabilia. It doesn't always have to be figs, even though it's mainly that. But man, that's a cool. Richie's belts are phenomenal. You're gonna dig seeing some of these throughout the course of the show. What they're
I
also gonna
appreciate
dig.
that.
Oh, absolutely, man. What they're also gonna dig on this show is the segments we got today. We got some great ones, some great figs for everybody to take a peek at and see what you think. And Richie, we're gonna kick it off with the Holy Grail, man. What's your Holy Grail of the week, man?
So I kind of teased this for you guys last week and said it was going to be on our next episode, but unfortunately that didn't happen because I forgot, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off with a bang and show you guys the current Grail in my collection because, as always, you guys who collect probably know that that stuff changes all the damn time. And this is probably one of the best ringside collectibles for the classic superstars line that came out in just my opinion. That's just my opinion there, but it is I believe this is, yep, ringside collectibles outsiders exclusive here. And it had Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in their NWO attire for the outsiders when they actually had their first match together. And I love it because they included in this figure Razor Ramon's Scott Hall's chain here, the gold chain. And then, of course, you had the spray painted NWO belt. I wish it was red because that's the one that Kevin Nash actually held. But also about this figure, the Outsiders attire that Kevin Nash actually has right here is probably my favorite and the most iconic. I love that fucking red attire he's got. And then, of course, you got Scott Hall's attire there with the blood dripping, which, of course, you could never have too many of those, man. So all in all, this is a great figure. It's, of course, signed by both of them. You flip this around here, you get a picture of both the Outsiders, and you get an idea who was in this series at the time, which was Classic Superstars Series 15, Outlaw Ron Bass, Tully Blanchard, the one with the robe, which is the better one, Leaping Lanny Poffo, Lex Luger in his WCW attire, Shawn Michaels in his Montreal Screwjob attire, Razor Ramon, the Rock's LJN figure, which I happen to want very badly, Johnny Rodz, Tank Abbott, which is another one that I've been looking for actually, and of course, who could forget No Holds Barred Zeus.
Zeus, man. That's a rare one right there.
Yep. Yep.
Dude,
So, this
that's
is
so
signed
nice
by
what you
both the
got.
outsiders. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And,
Wow.
what I loved about these two is they all came with this sticker here, the ringside exclusive explaining what they were and what they were about. So that was really cool in my opinion.
Dude, that's a fantastic one right there, man. That is a beaut for sure. What a good pick, man. And being signed too from them,
Yeah.
love it, man. I love the belt too with the NWO spray painted on it.
Yeah, I wish it was red because that's the
Yeah.
one Kevin Nash carried. He didn't carry
Hmm.
the black spray painted one. So just
Yeah.
I'm a stickler for details like that. Jakks Pacific at this time, they were pumping out a lot of good figures, but they were pumping out a lot of bad ones too. So, but this one definitely a Grail in my collection for sure.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful pick for your Grail. I'm gonna reach behind me for mine. Okay. So for my Holy Grail, is something I got just today. When it came in just today, I ordered it. I think I ordered actually on Christmas Day, so it just came in
Nice.
today as we're taping this on January 5th. And this is my first boxed one of this individual, and my favorite all time, hands down. Like, it's the guy that got me into wrestling. So
Really?
love this. Yeah, love this figure, man. He got me into wrestling. He's probably definitely my favorite of all time. I'll always be partial to him. And I love this one because of the event that it's symbolizing here too, and just the detail of this one. It's just really cool stuff. So for my Holy Grail of the week, it is the one and only Hulkster. That's right. You got it right there, man. So I'll zoom in a little close for everybody. You'll see the screenshots there on YouTube. So you'll see it in the video. And he's got his belt there. He's got the
Damn,
red.
he's got the weight belt even.
Yeah, he's got the red, white, and or excuse me, the red and yellow weight belt right in there. And let me think, nothing else there. It's got the ticket, of course. This outfit is from WrestleMania 21, and this is to symbolize when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame the night before, and he made the surprise appearance the next day, or the next day on WrestleMania, and he saved Hornswoggle. No, it wasn't Hornswoggle that night. Yeah, it was No, it was Eugene. Sorry, I don't want to see him
Eugene.
Hornswoggle. Yep. So he made a shocking thing and fought back against Muhammad Hassan and Daivari there to save Eugene. Nobody expected it. This was his outfit in that run when he came back. This is what it symbolizes there, and it's got the ticket inside there too for WrestleMania 21. When they went back to Hollywood, it was like called WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, I think was the thing. But
Yep.
man, this is just a beaut, man. I love this one here. This is something I bought myself for a Christmas present to myself. Definitely wasn't too expensive, but definitely wasn't cheap. And I definitely love it. So I don't give a fuck about how much
Dude,
it
I'm
costs.
telling you, that's fucking awesome that it comes with the weight belt and the undisputed title. And the
Yep.
other thing that I love about this particular figure that most figure companies miss on small details, because I'm a stickler about that, as you know, the knee brace that Hogan wears. I
Mm-hmm.
think in my memory, I can't remember another figure of Hogan's that actually included that. Correct me if I'm wrong out there in the comments. But that's what I love, man, is details like that that just set the figure off.
Yeah, it's got a great series too of this one. This is a pretty good series they had. They had this one. They had Kevin Nash in his Diesel outfit when he was Diesel. They don't
Ooh, I
call him
love that
Diesel.
one. I
Yeah, they don't
love
call him
that one.
Diesel. They just call him Kevin Nash. They got Barry Windham in this too, which the Barry Windham one is pretty damn cool, and just love that
Is it
one
his
right
red and
there.
blue attire, or is it the outlaw one?
It's looks like red and blue there.
Yeah.
He's got the little jacket on. So yeah, that's that one right there. Also has Rick Steiner in this one, a nice one from his WCW days. IRS is in there too. That's probably the figure that I think is probably the worst out of this series right there was the IRS figure. It's a little off in some ways. It's not awful, but it's definitely not one I would really want to buy or seek out for whatever reason. It just wasn't anything I would look for. They had a great Ken Shamrock in here. They had a great 1-2-3 Kid. My favorite one in this series, even more than a Hogan one, was the Fabulous Moolah. That one was a
Yeah.
really, really cool design that they did for it. So,
Dude,
yeah,
about
that,
that figure, I went to a place called Zia Records down here, and it's kind of like Spencer's a little bit. It's a little bit of a
mhm.
retro store too, where you get CDs and stuff. And they had a mint on card, Fabulous Moolah for $7, and I fucking passed it up, and I can't believe I did that, dude.
Man, you
Damn
missed out
shame.
on. Yeah, you missed out on a good one for that one, bro. I'm
Yeah,
telling
I
you.
really did. I really did.
It's a beaut of a figure, though, man. I love this Hogan. I'm glad I got it today. It sits right firmly proud behind me as
That
you see
head
the one
scan's
face.
incredible too, man.
It's spot on. Like literally, it's probably one of the most realistic faces and facial scans I've seen so far. It's really
Yeah,
good stuff, man. And
it is.
I love this one. I'm glad I picked it up for myself. Merry
Me
Christmas to
too.
me. You know,
Merry Christmas to you for sure.
yeah, it was a good one, man. And like I said, it wasn't cheap, but
Well,
it wasn't overly priced. It was a really fair price for it.
and knowing you and getting to know you these past few months too, Hulk Hogan's your guy, man. So just the
Dude.
fact that you didn't have one until this, man,
Yeah.
good grief. It was
Yeah,
due
because
for one.
a lot of his can just get really expensive for the good
They
ones,
can.
man. You know,
Yeah,
there are some cheaper ones out there, but I don't want a piece of crap, man. Like, I want something that's cool, man, and different, and something that's just badass. I don't want to buy cheap ones just to bulk up the collection or anything like that. I want the good ones. I'd rather save my money for the good ones than to buy a shit ton of cheap ones. So
absolutely.
that's
I
just me.
totally agree with you there.
Yeah, that's just me though. To each his own. Hey, if for whatever reason, Richie, my thing cuts off here, I'm just gonna write this timestamp down fast.
Yep.
They're running a patch on it from my job. I'll call you back as soon as it reboots. I'll be back
Yeah,
in
no
probably
problem.
2 minutes. Yeah, it'll cut me off in a few minutes here, I think, because they're doing a system reboot. So I'll call you right back and we'll just reconvene, just so you know if I get cut off here.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next segment, and it's gonna be rare finds. Richie found a beaut, man, of I love this one that Richie's got, man. This is cool. And I know we talked about him on an episode previously, just how much Richie loved the guy and how I worked with him too. So Richie's got a great rare find for the week, man. What do you got for your rare find of the week?
All right. So definitely pick the t-shirt and tattoos Vampiro for this figure here, man, for the rare finds. One of the reason is because I actually have all this guy's figures. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I have his two CMLL figures that came out, and of course I have his WCW figures from Toy Biz that came out. And unfortunately, he was the CM Punk of WCW, and you would think
Mm-hmm.
he would have more figures out there. He was one of the best to never make it, actually, as far as the rankings that they did for a poll that came out. Um, and he's one of my favorites of all time, man. So that's why I chose him. The tattoos on this figure, though, if you zoom in there, they look great. I mean, the style that they did and everything, it looks exactly like Vampiro. Of course, there's a few missing due to this was before he had all of them. But his attire is iconic there. They have the sides that were in Japanese writing and the occultic writing that he had on the sides of his pants. This T-shirt I actually have in my T-shirt collection.
Mm-hmm.
Only mine says Mexico City. This one says Vampiro under the Joker that's actually on there. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have the Vampiro temporary tattoo that came with these, which was a nice touch for kids to actually have and stuff like that. You flip this around, it explains the action of the figure, which was similar to
Hmm.
Hasbro. This one did a roundhouse kick. You twisted the legs, and of course, they spun around. A few people that were in this series, which is a very rare series actually for Toy Biz there, because it was at the tail end of them losing their rights to produce WCW figures.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually Goldberg, Jeff Jarrett, which is one of my favorite Jeff Jarretts of
Hmm.
all time. The Slapnuts character gimmick that he had there, and of course Big Papa Pump. Um, this figure's in mint condition. All my Vampiro figures are in mint condition because he's my favorite, of course, and so I tried to get him the best that I could. They are fetching a pretty high price as far
Yeah.
as the cost of them, and you can't touch these, unless you're willing to pay some coin for it. So, definitely a great figure, though, man. I think they nailed the likeness of him pretty well.
That's spot on, man. That's a beaut. I think that one goes, or typically because they're so rare with a lot of his things, like you had mentioned. I think that one goes for about 150 to 200 bucks typically, from what I've seen it at. I've seen that a few times.
It went for that a while ago. The
Mm-hmm.
market's changed a little bit, and
Yep.
now you could probably buy them for about 55, 65 bucks
Really?
is the ones I've seen. Yeah, actually.
Jesus, that's crazy. Because I had seen him out there before when I was working with him. I was looking at some stuff, and they were
Yeah.
going like I said, 150 to 200. That's crazy.
Yeah, the market goes up and down with these things, man, and unfortunately, I mean, it just happens like that, you know. One day you'll have a figure that's worth it, and the next day it's lost half its value.
Yeah,
So,
it was like baseball cards, man, or a car. You pull it off the lot, you just lost a shit ton. So it can happen,
yep,
man. That's a
absolutely.
that's a great one though.
Yeah, these ones I'm never gonna sell. I
Yeah.
didn't buy these to hold on to sell to make some money. So I
Mm-hmm.
just bought them because I love Vampiro and he's one of my favorites of all time. So
Well, hell yeah,
definitely a
man.
good one for the collection there. Oh, I don't know if I covered this either. Another thing I like that they did with this was actually his hair. As you guys know, back in WCW, he had dreadlocks for his hair.
Mm-hmm.
This particular figure, they actually had realistic hair for this. It wasn't plastic molded on there. It was actually dreadlocks that came off the character there. So actually,
That's
pretty
super
cool
cool.
touch there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's super cool. You don't always see that in a lot of the action figures, man. Even for some of the great lines, you do see them, but it's not a predominant practice with a lot of them. I think it's a cool feature to it. Like it adds a
absolutely.
little special nature to it, in my opinion.
Yep.
Hey, good pick, man. That's a great rare find. Well, when we talk about great picks, man, we got to go through our watch list once in a while and tell you what we're watching out there. What do you got on your watch list right now, dude? What are you looking for? What's something you're in the process of maybe getting? What do you got, buddy?
So right now I'm actually looking at an Elite Series 2 Triple H, which is a pretty rare figure. That's at the beginning that when Mattel actually got the purchasing rights for uh, developing figures for the WWE.
Yep.
It's a great figure that I feel like didn't get enough love because it was kind of a plain Jane. You know, you got a T-shirt and a sledgehammer and a water bottle. It was just Triple H for who he was at the time, and I think it's a great figure. I think that that first beginning series of the Elites are very important because it really set the trend for how good these figures were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's one of my picks. Another one that I'm actually looking at that I have my eye on is a TNA Marvel 2-pack of AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and it's actually signed by AJ Styles. So
Ooh,
definitely,
that's
or I'm
cool.
sorry, it's actually signed by Samoa Joe, not AJ Styles.
That's cool as hell, man. Did you pick that
Yeah.
one? You picked that one up on eBay? Have you had that for a while?
Yeah, I've actually been watching it for 2 days. It's the auction is getting ready to wrap up. There's about 15 hours left here. I'm the top bidder, so I'm thinking I'll probably snag that one. One that I actually just found that I've actually wanted because I have the other figure that went with this character for this particular time period was the Break the Streak Brock Lesnar exclusive that came
Hmm.
out for Toys R Us, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a rare one. It's actually when Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker and, of course, conquered the streak. So definitely going to have to add that one to my collection as well.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous one, man. Those are some great picks for yours. Well, I got a couple that I've been looking at. I've been looking at a lot lately, but a couple that I really want. One I really like is I like the classics once again the classic superstars line, and I really like the Hacksaw Jim Duggan one. You don't see it out there a ton either, but it's a really cool figure for that classic line on it. It's Duggan's one of the guys, man, because he wasn't putting on 5-star classics and shit, but he was one of those guys that, in my opinion, never really got his due, and
Yeah.
he the crowd loved him. He could still ramp any crowd up across the world with his USA stuff and his gimmick. And this is a beautiful character. It comes with 2x4 and all, and it's a real wood piece in there, I believe, actually too, to replicate the 2x4 that he would carry out to the ring. Really nice one. I love it. It's a gorgeous one. I'll pick it up eventually here really soon. Supposed to. It's up and down on price, like you mentioned with some stuff earlier. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for the right deal on this one, and I'm definitely going to snatch it up and grab it when I can for that. The
I
other
don't
one,
blame you, man. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just
Oh
going to
no, no,
follow up
no,
real
not
quick.
at all, man. Not
I
at
don't
all, bro.
blame you, man, because Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's one of my favorites because of how patriotic he was. And
Mm-hmm.
when we do our next Grail series, I'm actually going to get into some really rare stuff in my collection. If you look right here where my finger is,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually the one I'm going to show you. And it's actually been on Figure It Out, the WWE Network show. And
Mm-hmm.
it's actually the Star Toys series from Spain in
Wow.
1993 there. So we'll definitely cover that the next episode.
Yeah, that'll be a great one, man. I know the ones you're talking about because I think you showed me both of them there. So it's a real cool pickup there. It's definitely a holy grail one, man. It's definitely a rare find. It could fit into just about any category with it. There is another
Yep.
one that I really want, but my wife would string me up upside down by my manly area there if I bought this at this.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it's that expensive, but I'm gonna get it soon. It's just a matter of when I'm gonna get it, when I can find the right deal. But it's the Bret Hart. It's the one I showed you yesterday that we were talking about yesterday, and it's the Elite Flashbacks Classic, as I believe the right terminology
Yeah,
for it.
it's a ringside exclusive too.
Yep, yep. And this one is so cool for a reason. It's the detail on this was just, oh my God, it was so cool, man. It was all when he was in the pink. And, of course, he always was the pink and black, but this was pinked out, man. And even his jacket was the pinked out one with the tassels that he would come out with.
It's so shitty, bro. Not to interrupt you here, but good God, any time to choose the cloth material, why the fuck didn't they do it in that figure,
I have
man? That
no
would have set
idea.
that off so well.
I agree, man. It looks like it has it from a distance, but then when you go and look at it, you see that it is the plastic there, which is a huge letdown,
Yeah.
because it's just such a perfect figure and it's such a cool outfit that he had on. And he really didn't go by that time frame too much, with that all pink stuff. Yeah, he would do the pink and black, but this wasn't something you saw him do for a very long time.
Did he have glasses in that figure too? Did
He
that one
does.
come with it, or
Yep.
he
He's got
does?
glasses on
Okay,
him right on there. Yep.
very
He
cool.
does. It's a beaut. If you've never seen it, go check it out. The Elite Flashbacks Classics line, and it's got the Bret Hart one there. Retailing right now, it's going out for about $200 right at this moment. That's why I
I've seen
said
him
it.
go for 300, man. It is a rare figure.
Bret has some very expensive figures, and
Casey at the marketplace, he has a loose one that he's had for about 2 months now, and he's asking $73 loose and no
yeah,
accessories.
yeah, and this has all the bells and whistles in there for that one. It's just cool. It's Bret Hart has some very expensive stuff. I'll say I'm just gonna leave it right there. Not all the time is it warranted being as expensive as it is, in my opinion, but this one is definitely one that is definitely worth a lot of money, and
Yeah,
it's one of the best ones I've seen Ringside ever make. But
yeah.
I'll put the big button there, like you mentioned. They made a really egregious error in this one, just putting the pink in and not putting it as the cloth and making it as the plastic. They made a real bad error in that because it could have just taken that one to the next level, and I think it would have probably maybe even doubled their price if they had something like if it was
I
a little
think
bit.
so.
Yeah, because the rubber just makes it more common, but this is going for
Well, and it's
200.
harder, like people that, yeah, $200, and it's
Yeah,
hard for people to take pictures and pose them and things like that if they let it breathe. Which, good God, please don't do that if you have one in the box. But
no.
these particular figures, like I have one that's Elite Series Undertaker that he's had a few of them come out with those really extravagant ring coats. Why they didn't choose to make cloth material out of them,
Hmm.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. That's for the marketing geniuses, over at Mattel. But man, I'm telling you, it would have set that figure up. Those ones too would have been set off to a whole nother level. But unfortunately, it's so stiff, you can't move them around in those coats, and they're just, they are what they are, man.
Yep, I agree, man. I will get this sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Just got to find the right
you
price
have
on it.
to.
I will.
Everybody's got that one in their collection that they spent an ungodly amount for, dude. I've got a
Hmm.
couple, as you can see right here, these two.
Yep.
Those cost me a pretty penny, and I do not regret spending the money one bit. So,
Well, the beauty is that when you work hard, sometimes you got to play hard. And the fact of the matter is, between the podcast network, my regular daytime job, and some writing jobs that I'm doing now, because I'm doing freelance writing for some of the wrestling sites, and when you work hard, you got to play hard sometimes, man. Working three jobs, there's certain points where I say, fuck it, man. I want to get what I want to get sometimes. And maybe I'll take the yelling or whatever it is at me for spending that much, but it'll be worth it because we all work hard in life, man. Sometimes you got to play hard. As long as you don't do it all the time, I'll probably only not get talked to for 2 days instead of the week it probably would have normally been. So you got to look at the positives and everything, like we had talked about on the show for 2020. Be positive.
yeah,
That's my positive. I probably get 2 days, maybe three in the couch instead of a 7 to 14 day prison sentence on it. So,
there you go.
but
Yeah, another thing I'm actually looking forward to is my birthday is coming up here on
mhm.
January 12th. And I asked my wife to kind of expand my collection. And this is something I said I would never do when I started collecting figures. So I'm surprised I've actually changed my mind in doing this. I'm going to be buying a Detolf display case from IKEA, and I'm actually going to start collecting loose figures to
Mm.
start posing them on the shelf and stuff like that. So definitely going to be a cool addition that I'm looking forward to start doing. So
Yeah, and those things, man, really just make the collection look cooler and different in a way. A lot of the built-in ones or ones I've seen just like that, man, it pops your collection and it just gives it like the prestigious stuff that it deserves.
well, what
It,
made me jealous is the shelf behind you. You've got a lot of the San Francisco Toys
yeah.
WCW ones positioned there, and that's actually what inspired me to do it. Actually,
Oh, okay. I also have one over here too.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
really fucking cool.
yeah, I got one over there too. So it's wait till you see later on this year when I set it up in a different place where it's gonna go that I've been working on. So it's this is a cool office as it is, but I'm gonna have an
Yeah.
even cooler spot here in probably the late summer this year. And I have big plans for what I want to do with the stuff, and it's a cool space. This is a cool room for it, and this a lot of that was actually built in because I grew up in this house. We've had that since I was a kid in the rack. I love the rack stuff too. I've seen some people who display their stuff like that, and it's fucking tremendous and it's cool as hell looking. So you're gonna love yours, man. I can't wait to see it when you set it up, bro.
Absolutely, and they got kits where you can buy risers for the figures to stand on, so
Mm-hmm.
you could have multiple in there. And then, of course, you get lighting kits too, which I have a curio cabinet here with all my belts in that has lighting in it, and it looks great
Mm-hmm.
at night. So,
Yep.
definitely it's definitely a journey that I'm looking forward to because some of those figures that we talked about that fetch a pretty penny, you can actually touch for more reasonable prices as loose figures.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the ones that I'll get to check off the list as loose ones at least. So
That's
definitely
awesome,
looking
man.
forward to it, man. Yeah.
That's cool as hell, man. I love it. Well, Richie, this is going to wrap up another episode of Fake Life. We hope everybody is enjoying the show. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already done so. Please make sure you hit that bell too. It'll notify you every single time that a new show drops, which for us is pretty much every day we drop a new show because we love doing this and it's just fun for us and we have a great time doing it and people are enjoying it. So we're going to keep pressing on with it. So just make sure you subscribe. It helps us out and it will give you guys all the stuff when you sub and put that little bell on there to make sure you get notified. So helps you out. You get to see the cool show that you were listening to that you like, hopefully, and it helps us out too, getting those subscribers to grow our content, to grow our thing that we're doing here, and keep taking it to the next level. So you can find us both on Twitter. You can see the links right below at III_Reardon, REARDON for Richie, and at WWR Podcast for me. We also have a great store. The Reality Check Podcast Network is right on there, and it's at rcpodnetwork.com. It's got our store, our listings, prices, ways to get in contact with us, our podcast, little of everything. Richie and I do a great show, Wrestling Anonymous, Wrestling with Reality, Rad Turtles Wrestling, cool stuff here, man. So check out all that great stuff. And we definitely hope you enjoy the show and hope all is well with you. Richie, you got any closing thoughts, brother?
Yeah, man. Just wanted to let you all know we're doing a giveaway when we hit the 500 and the 1,000
Mm-hmm.
subscriber mark. The first 500 subscribers are going to be put in a drawing for a TNA and WWE superstar that is a signed figure from the Marvel TNA series. So definitely help us get the word out for this show. It's going to benefit you in a big way because you're going to be entered in for a chance for that figure, and you do not want to miss that. So be on the
Yep.
lookout for that, as well as we just finished up for Wrestling Anonymous. We just did a watch along for the Brian Pillman to the follow up to the Brian Pillman episode that we did. It is actually Jushin Thunder Liger versus Brian Pillman at Super Brawl 2, so be sure to check that out as well. We did a great job on it, and it's an entertaining watch along there. So just
It,
wanted to
it
throw that
is.
out there, man.
No, that's a great watch along, man. It really is. And man, another great show, my friend. And I'm telling you guys, we're going to keep popping it out. We once again appreciate all your feedback, your love, everything you've thrown at us, and the kindness that you got out there. And any feedback is always warranted, and we'll always listen to it. So until the next time, guys, make sure that you keep checking us out. Check those podcasts out that we're offering. If you're a fan of wrestling, you're going to enjoy them. And Richie, Big World Order members, we're all in this, man. And what are we in it for, Richie?
For life.